Cars are getting bigger. SUVs grow in popularity with every passing year, and those SUVs are only getting larger. Look no further than names like Toyota Grand Highlander and Jeep Grand Cherokee L. The Mazda MX-5 Miata is not a very large vehicle. Even this RF version, which has an automatic hardtop convertible roof, weighs under 2,500 pounds. So how is this fourth generation Mazda Miata, which was introduced in 2016, competing with today's ever larger auto industry? Well, it is exactly this car's small size which sets it apart. At 6'2", it comes to the top of my waist, and when I sit inside, I have just enough room to sit upright without the roof touching my head. Also, because it's a small car, it doesn't need a very big engine to make it feel quick. This 2-liter 4-cylinder makes 181 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque, which is enough to push the Miata to 60 in 5.7 seconds. That may not seem very fast, but in such a small car, it feels pretty quick. Now, this is the top-of-the-line Mazda MX-5 Miata RF Club, which, in addition to the automatic hardtop convertible roof, gets you things like BBS wheels, Brembo brakes, and Recaro seats. And all of that is very nice, except for the fact that this car has a sticker price of $40,000. Now, most of that comes from the fact that the hardtop convertible Mazda Miata RF starts at basically $36,000, so there's a lot of price in that, but a regular soft-top Mazda MX-5 Miata starts at just $28,000. And the issue with that is I don't notice much of a benefit in driving the hardtop Mazda Miata RF versus the soft-top Mazda MX-5 Miata. Because this car is so small, it's so easy to raise and lower the soft-top version of this car. You just undo a latch and toss it back, and it'll lock into place, and then you can undo a latch and pull it up and then relatch it to raise the roof back up. And you can do it all from sitting in the car. You don't have to get out. It's just so easy and simple because the car is so small. This hardtop one, you pull the lever and you have to, or this switch, and you have to hold it while it does its thing. And you can only do it when you're going under 6 miles an hour, which is a little annoying, and it takes 10 to 15 seconds, which isn't bad. It is nice to be sitting here and not having to do any work as you raise and lower the roof, but it's definitely easier to do that in the soft top MX-5. One benefit that you normally get with a hardtop versus a soft top is that they're quieter on the inside, but I don't really notice a huge increase in sound deadening from soft top to hard top. It's not loud in here, but you can definitely hear wind noise. These are frameless windows as you get on convertibles, because when the top is down, you can still have the windows up. They're not connected to the roof. They don't seal in the same way. So you still do get a lot of wind noise in here. It's not the quietest interior, and I didn't notice the soft top Mazda MX-5 Miata. Now, it's been over a year since I drove that car, but I didn't notice that that vehicle had a particularly loud interior. This car doesn't have a particularly quiet interior, so there doesn't seem to be that big of a difference. But no matter your roof choice, you are going to have a great time driving the Mazda MX-5 Miata. You're gonna have the roof down, shifting your own gears, and driving one of the lightest cars in the modern automotive industry. This car is just so fun and so unique. There just truly aren't that many cars like this on the market. In terms of the transmission, it's a 6-speed manual. You can option an automatic if you so desire, but I think most MX-5 Miata drivers will want the manual. It's super fun, and in terms of the transmission itself, shifts really easy, and the gear selector is great to hold on to. It's wrapped in leather on this top club trim level, and yeah, it's just super fun to be driving a manual. When you're driving, you're gonna notice a couple things. One, it's not the fastest car in the world. Even though it's really light, it still only has 181 horsepower. Mazda claims 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds, I believe, which is pretty zippy. And certainly you can have a blast in this car. Its smaller size definitely lends itself to making any speed feel faster than it is. And even though you aren't going blisteringly quick, you can still have a great time. These Recaro seats definitely help hug you in place when you're chucking this thing around a corner, which it loves to do because it's so light and it'll just lean in. I found these Brembo brakes aren't the most reassuring. Yeah, see, we're going at higher speeds now, and even in this RF with the hardtop roof, it just isn't that quiet in here. But The Brembo brakes, I didn't find the most reassuring. You really have to press on them to get this car to slow down, even though it only weighs 2,400 pounds. The rotors are just so small. So they're not the most reassuring or dynamic brakes I've ever felt. Definitely coming from last week, I was driving a Lexus RCF Track Edition, which had carbon ceramic brakes, and that thing stopped a little quicker than this car. Elsewhere, the steering, it's quick, but it's pretty light. I wish there was a little more weight to it. It also, it doesn't have a whole lot of feedback. Like, you can feel the bumps and you can feel kind of the surface through the road, but I think it's just a little too light for my taste. It's a little dead on center. I can move the steering wheel a few quarter of an inch in both directions without the car doing anything, and I wish in a car this small especially, I wish the smallest turn would make it do something that would just make it feel a little tighter, in my opinion. In terms of creature comforts, you have manual climate controls. This RF Club top of the line MX-5 Miata does have heated seats, which is nice. It does have Apple CarPlay, which is also appreciated, although it's on a 7-inch screen, so it's pretty small. There's a partially digital instrument cluster, a leather-wrapped steering wheel. These seats are pretty comfortable, these Recaro seats, although I wish they had a little more lumbar support. That's not something you can adjust. They are manual, which is to be expected. I would say the MX-5 Miata is most at home when you are accelerating down a country road with the roof down, shifting your own gears, wind in your hair. That is the best experience you're gonna get out of this car. It is so fun, and it makes you remember the joys of driving. Most cars today are built at the end of the day to go from A to B. I really don't feel like this Mazda MX-5 Miata was built for that. This car was built to have fun in, to be a joy, to be a weekend car, to go for a drive for the sake of going for a drive. It's like that quote from Cars. The MX-5 Miata was built so that people can have a great time while driving, not so that they make great time while driving. And you can certainly have a fantastic time in the Mazda MX-5 Miata. Coming out of a corner. That's pretty fun. So that's the 2023 Mazda MX-5 Miata RF Club. I had a great time driving this car this week. It is so fun to drive a vehicle that is very different from everything else that is on the road. So small, so light, manual transmission. I absolutely had a blast. However, for a car that is, in a lot of circumstances, going to be supplemented by a daily driver, I don't think this RF Club version is worth the $12,000 more than a base MX-5 Miata. It's a lot faster to raise and lower the top of the soft top MX-5 Miata because it is manual, and this automatic hardtop convertible roof, I didn't notice an increase in sound deadening versus the soft top, so you're not really benefiting there either. But whichever MX-5 Miata you get, you're gonna have a great time because this car is an absolute blast to drive, and who knows how much longer cars like these will be around on American roads. It's a blast from the past, and hopefully Mazda keeps making cars like these. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.